It's Chelsa Messenger with Picks and Parlays. We're talking NBA action, headed to Milwaukee where the Bucks are hosting the Raptors. It's President's Day week, which means we've got a nice little code for 20% off the entire site of picksandparlays.net. Use the code USA. Bucks favored minus 5.5 here. Total of 234. The Raptors are 12-15 on the year, 11-16 against the number. Bucks are 16-11 straight up, 13-14 against the spread. And this line, I'm not going to lie, looked a little fishy to me because the last time these two teams squared off, the Bucks were on the road and favored by 6. So now they're back at home and favored by only 5.5. And that last game, the Bucks won 115-108. So I'm wondering what is the difference between this spread. We've got Craig Trapp joining us to break this one all down for us. Craig, what do you think about this spread?
Yeah, I thought the line was low at 6.5 where the line opened, and it's immediately first click down a whole point. So that definitely drew my, first thing I did was went and looked, okay, who's out for the Bucks? Because there's, Holiday's been out, I think, for the last game or two. Questionable here. So I thought maybe that, but, I was expecting Giannis or somebody to be questionable for that line to go down this much. Because this Raptors team, like you said, not good against the spread, just 11-16 against the spread, 7-8 against the spread on the road. And Milwaukee, even though this year they haven't been great against the spread, historically they've been really, really good the last two seasons at home. 7-4 against the spread at home this year, and really a lot of that's recently. But I definitely would be leaning to the Bucks minus the 5.5, like you said. The first matchup, the last matchup, the Raptors took care of business at Toronto. Of course, they're playing in Tampa, but road, and I think they'll do the same here. But my better play going to be on the total in this one. I just think. This Toronto team, they're terrible on defense. I mean, the last two seasons, they won a championship because they were great on defense, and now this year they're not good on defense. They've gone over in 8 of the last 9 games. So I mean, this is a team, and really last game it didn't go over because the shot got blocked at the buzzer, or they would have went over 9 of the last 9 games. So I'm going to take the over, maybe the chicken way out here, Chelsea, but I just think this Bucks team will score plenty, and the Raptors been scoring a lot themselves.
Yeah, I think some of it has to do with OG Anunoby being out. He's actually one of their better defenders. I'm not sure if he's going to be playing in this one. I think he's questionable, but he has not been playing. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the reason why they can't guard anybody. But Raptors 11-4 to the over on the road, so that kind of plays with your play there. I do like the Bucks here. I think this line is a little fishy, but upon my first research, now I'm feeling not so confident because it just seems so fishy. But I think this is a good spot for the Bucks coming back home after an absolutely disastrous 6-game road trip where they lost 3 straight to Oklahoma City, Utah, and Phoenix. So I think if there's a get-right spot for a solid team, it's here for the Bucks at home, because somewhere in there's a good team. They haven't looked like it, definitely not on the defensive front. They're just not the defensive team that they were last season. I don't know if that's because their bench hasn't been contributing, not nearly as much on the defensive end. I guess Bobby Portis has been solid most of the part, when he comes off the bench. But it's something with their defense. And just in general, if you look at this Bucks team, they're only 16-11, and this is not a team that was supposed to be 16-11. It was one of the teams that was supposed to be one of the contenders in the East. But I think the over could be a strong play here. Over is hitting 8 of the last 9 for Toronto and 7 straight road games, kind of as I alluded to. Any other things you think bettors should know before betting on this one? Maybe if that line moves more?
Well, if you just draw a line through and you just go back and find, okay, when was the last 2 games or last game they played at home? They beat a very good, this Bucks team beat a very good Pacers team, 130-110. Game before that beat a hot Portland team, 134-106. So yeah, they had 6 games on the road. They split them 3-3 and lost their last 3, both straight up and against the spread. But if you go back to their home form, it was really good, and I think that's the key here. I think they'll wake up at home, and the Bucks have to look at themselves in the mirror and go, okay, last 2 seasons we were the best team in basketball basically the entire season, and it didn't do well in the
regular
postseason.
season.
So maybe this year, regular season, right? Maybe they say this year, like, hey, we just have to get right for the postseason. So, and what do you have to do in the postseason? You got to win at home. And I think they'll do that tonight, and they'll get the cover. But I'm going to take the over as my best play. Also, Milwaukee hasn't been good on defense. They gave up those 3 losses. They gave up 125, 129, and 114 to an Oklahoma City team that doesn't even like to score. So I think the over here is probably a pretty easy winner tonight.
Yeah, and part of that's because Drew Holiday is actually one of their better defenders too. So
Yep.
him being out does not help their defensive prowess. But on the opposite end, their offense has been humming along, ranking second in score, field goal percentage, and 3-point percentage. So despite their defense, their offense seems to be hot almost every game. And I think that's why they're still, I guess, 16-11. It's not a great record, but their offense has been keeping them afloat in some of these games. And I think that's probably going to be the case here, as Toronto, not the stout defense that they have been in the past, ranking 16th in the league in total score on defense. But that's going to do it for our NBA talk here on Picks and Parlays. Great stuff as always from Craig Trapp. Craig, thanks for joining us.